go down again.
Two documents I send you. One say
Two documents I send
advertisement,
you. One say advertisement, attachment,
and one say
attachment,
hit the
and
one
one
that
that
say
say
hit the one.
advertise, that say advertise.
Let me see what I can put on. So that when you're talking about send a link, because I'm seeing a link with it. Pedro, when you're talking about send a link.
Yeah, above it.
Above
Just look
it,
where
just look where
you see
you see
advertisement.
advertisement.
Just hit it.
Just hit it.
You just wait the advertisement, but you don't put it have a link. So this one you see a showing link.
That's one.
That's
And when you
one.
hit
And
the
when you
other
hit the
one,
other
you hit.
one, you hit.
I don't know which other one you're talking about.
No, no. Okay, I will just
Okay,
send
I
it.
will just send it.
Yeah, because they won't have links. So the link allow you to go through it. If you want to read more about this, it also permits you to read more.
Okay, I'm sending
Okay,
it
I'm
now.
sending it now.
Okay.
Mm, mm. Okay, I just sent it to you.
Okay, I just sent it to
So
you. So
while you getting it up,
while you getting it up,
I will be
I
talking
will
to
be
him, and
talking to
then
him,
he
and
will let
then
me know.
he will let me know.
So,
So,
Dr. Rockefeller,
Rockefeller Cooper,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you you talk about
which
your
you talk about your
journey
I'm on
journey
the video.
and how you
and
got
how you
to.
got to.
I think Ellis,
Not,
remove the
not.
echo in the background.
Yeah, Alice,
Yeah, Ellis,
color your microphone. So
Yeah.
the Third Eyes Forensic Consultancy, just talk about it briefly, and then when he bring it on, we'll go through the services.
Okay, so Third Eye Forensic Consultancy LLC came into play back in 2021 during the COVID pandemic. And what Third Eye has, started being involved with was private autopsies, because there was a shortage on those who are willing to conduct post-mortem exams. And so uh, that created a pathway for Third Eye to basically stand out. So I saw myself traveling around the continent, USA, North America, of course, helping families one at a time to understand the cause and manner of death of the loved ones. Um, and it's not just so Third Eye is basically the front cover, but there are other consultants that I do work with, other laboratories as well. So it's not just me doing everything, obviously. And we've been thriving since then. The private autopsy industry is very important because when a person dies, especially within the United States, the coroner does not send every case to the medical examiner office or to the coroner's office to be looked at by a medical examiner. And when the body is turned over to the family, and the family, on the other hand, has doubts, their only option is to seek a private autopsy. And that is where, we come in, and that's how we've been coming in to help families. And so that's basically it. And I thought about the deficit that exists in Liberia, the serious deficit that exists in Liberia when it comes to death investigations. And so I decided that I need to see how best I can help my people, because what I can do in the United States per se, there are others who can do it. But in Liberia, there is in a state of non-existence as far as forensic medical legal death investigation is concerned. And so we've been a registered business in Liberia now for a little over a year. And I look forward to helping my people. So that's basically where we started from and where we are.
And you have a quotation, and it's very important. Only with experience can one use the tongue to count the teeth. What were you trying to say?
So when it comes to death investigation, you don't just wake up one morning and think that that you have the courage to conduct death investigations. I can assure you that you will flunk more than you've ever flunked before in any experience of life. So it is a unique area. It requires a certain, well, a grave amount of dedication, and it is done only by by certain people. Not everyone is cut out to be a death investigator, let alone to to work as a death investigator. So you have to be psychologically prepared, spiritually prepared. Obviously, your mental status has to be intact, because no two cases are the same. Okay, and yes, so with experience, you're not going to put your dirty finger in your mouth to count your teeth, right? So you use your tongue to check your teeth, and you still get the same number. But it is not what you do that matters, but accountability is basically bestowed upon the manners in which our endeavors are conducted. So when it comes to death investigation, you need to be able to put the pieces together, because every case has a picture. Now, are you qualified? Do you have the experience? Do you know what it takes to put the pieces of the puzzle together so that that picture will be developed? That is something that's yet to be unraveled. So to make a long story short, that quotation is basically just talking about the experience that is needed in order to conduct forensic cases, or to handle forensic cases, so to speak. You're
It's putting
muted.
it up. Where it is putting it up. Let's look at the first uh, service you perform, and then he will put it up, and you can go and elaborate more on the others. Decomposition. I think I saw why is that important?
Okay, so yeah, so the line is breaking. I didn't get the question quite clearly.
Oh, as Ellie put it up, one of the first service you provide is decomposition. If I got it correct, if not, you can correct me.
No, 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 no. There's no service known as decomposition. Let him put whatever it is, because I don't even see it. I see a
Yeah.
picture from our website,
Okay.
but I don't see. So
Okay.
let him bring it up, and then we'll go from there.
Go to Ellie's hit forensic, and something will come up. You will see medical, and just hit forensic, and something will come up.
No, I think he's
Yeah, hit
scrolling through.
right there, forensic.
Yeah.
Hit
Okay.
hit forensic. Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So this is the gallery, and basically I just put their pictures of different medical conditions that that you will sometimes stumble upon, especially during autopsies, which some of them can be quite rare. So I try to just document, and it's just mainly for educational purposes. So if someone goes through my website, that they'll be able to see some of some of these medical conditions.
Mm-hmm. And Ellis,
Yeah.
if you hit forensic, okay, that's it. That's it. Can you explain suicide by death by driver? What are these?
No, so
things that you
those are all those are photographs.
okay.
Um, and some of them are gruesome. So I would not
No,
encourage
no,
him
no.
opening.
Not
Yes,
the photo, not the photo, but the statement. So you
yes,
provide suicide,
yes.
death
So
by driver. Those are the one I want you to comment on.
okay, so let him bring it up a little more so the writing will show. Yeah, so
Okay.
people think, yeah, so suicide. So
Alice, please bring
basically,
it up so it can be, you know, enlarging it.
yeah, so basically what we are looking at is death of a person by their own hands. Okay, and in that case, I believe this gentleman had he shot himself in the head. The suicide by driver, yes, and then by hanging, the person hung themselves. Okay, decomposition is just talking about basically the breakdown of the human body after death. So, so basically, those were just eye-catching elements that I placed on the website for people to look at.
Okay. So the one you're looking for is the services you provide. I know where we can find that, but I think it's one of the two link that I
Well,
sent
if
to
you
Alex.
bring, yeah, he needs to take this to take because there's just the website he's going to. He needs to take it down and then to put up the document that you keep telling him about. That's what he needs to do.
So Elliot, take this one down and look for the one that says the tear eye. Is it in the tear eye or the one that said advertisement? Uh, you go up. Okay. Elliot, go up. Now you have to hit. Ellis, can you go? Okay. Continue to go up. I think you have to hit something. Uh, okay. 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 Come back. Come back. It says exploring our main services. You think we'll be under there? Alex? Okay. Exploring our main services. Dr. Cooper, should you hit this one? Explore our main services?
Um, well, yeah. Now, I haven't even visited this site for over I think what 2 months now. But click. I'm not sure if clicking on it is going to open anything. But
Oh,
uh, yes. So I'm not sure if
well,
it
let me
goes.
see if I can do it. If I do on the phone, I can help him. But Ellis try to hit one of the. Let me see. But why we? Okay, let me see what else they say about us. Home, medical, forensic. Uh, so why looking for it? Let's just go ahead. Help us understand the services you provide. So we can.
Yes, so the services that I do provide, basically it entails postmortem, forensic postmortem examinations, second autopsies, um, witness securing witness testimony during autopsy. So, for example, if you need someone to be present whilst, let's say, the state is performing an autopsy, then I can be there as well. So you have someone who's securing credible information, okay? Because obviously, when an autopsy is being done, is two things can happen. It can either incriminate a person, or it can also exonerate a person. So so that service is provided as well. I also do crime scene investigations, which of course involves evidence gathering, so to speak, and also crime scene reconstruction, bloodstain pattern analysis, which all of that is under the whole crime scene investigation because the bloodstain tells a story as to what happened. And then, of course, medical legal death investigation as a whole is something that I do as well. So that's about it in a nutshell.
Let's go to one of the things you talk about that you would try to do to provide services by training former police officers that you're passionate about, and you find time and you display your knowledge in helping to produce investigator that will might be helpful through all the breadth of Liberia. Can you just elaborate that how it will be done and how important you attach to that process?
Yes, so Third Eye Forensic Consultancy is a private industry, and in my attempt to build my workforce, I will look into recruiting retired law enforcement or former law enforcement, officers to train as death investigators. So I think one that's going to be a plus, is of course for my company, but then also for Liberia because now we can have people going in, engaging families, asking the right questions to get the right answers to aid in the investigation process. So I'm not going to be hiring just a whole lot of people, but I'll be looking for people basically people who I can work with, people who are deemed manageable, people who have interest in the field and are willing to work, and people who want to see a better Liberia. So those will be some of the measures that I'll be using to to basically address my hiring process, and that's about it.
Okay. Now, before we go around for our candidate to ask questions, there are a few cases you want to present to us today that you have dealt with and you have some knowledge of what is happening. Can you present those first? Then we go around to ask them to ask questions. How many you have for us today? Two or three?
No, so I had said before that I will actually I would prefer to do it on another day just because of the time, because it's going to take a while with the discussions. But
Okay.
yeah, so that would happen down the road. But like some of the cases, like I told you last week, we talked like not last week, but a few days ago, like the three missing boys, uh, the misinformation that was provided by police regarding the death of Gifty Lama and Albert Peters. Okay, so these will be some of the things that we'll be discussing as well, and several other cases. But Liberia is in a position where if we don't turn things around, criminals will have the best of us, especially from an investigative standpoint. So I think it's very important that this subject matter meaning death investigation, is given credence, in my opinion. So
Okay.
yeah, but I'm
Let me go.
open.
Let me go to Claudia for her first or two questions, and then we'll go around. Claudia.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Um, Mr. Cooper, you stated that majority of the deaths that occur are rarely, autopsies are rarely ran on them unless the family requests. So that's the reason why you decided to come here with your own uh, company to try to help the government. My question to you is this: helping the government In which way? By registering your company, or are you thinking on helping the government by, for example, every murder case out here in Liberia, the first person we'll see on the scene is always this white van that has forensic written on it. When they open the back of that van, you'll see like a pocket of like, maybe 4 or 5 shelves. It's, I don't know if it's medical supplies that they use, gloves. These supplies are in each department in that forensic jeep. They do a few things, turn the body around, check a few things. And I want to know from you, when it comes to your forensic, is that what you also do? And if that's something that you also are involved in, is there any way you could help the government in terms of trying to create a platform where the government will have the strength to be able to have an autopsy conducted, especially on cases where people die like mysteriously, you know, rather than just saying maybe Goa killed them or cancer killed them, but cases like of murder. Are you willing to help the government in their forensic department? That's my question.
Okay, so and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to make sure I understood you because it was a little convoluted. So you talk about like where you see like with the van, the vehicle that has forensic on it, and then in the back of it you see that there are supplies, right? So that you find, yes, in the US. So forensic departments within different law enforcement entities will respond, and then there are key players. Okay, you have the medical examiner may respond to the scene depending on the laws of that jurisdiction, which will require the medical examiner to respond to the scene, or it would be just death investigators and or forensic scientists from the police department or from the sheriff office. So that's what you've been seeing. So my role is quite different, somewhat similar per se, but quite different. I do visit crime scenes because I have to be able to connect the dots from the scene to the post mortem table. uh, in terms of helping the government. So, the thing, Claudia, is that you see, as a doctor, I should not be in a position to chase down a government, for help, okay, for help that they need. Um, in Liberia, governments or regimes have the right to work with whoever they feel comfortable working with. So, and choices are being made. Are those choices always the right ones? No, as we've seen, based on how cases have been handled. So it's a difficult process wanting to help Liberia from this angle. So, but what I was able to do within my my constitutional rights as a citizen of Liberia was to register my own business so that when families are told to go and look for their own specialists because the government doesn't have anybody, now the name Rockefeller Cooper will be a name that they can look out for or look up to assisting with, addressing the issue at hand. So that is, that's how I would like to answer your question, unless if you have something further.
Yes, I appreciate your answer. It does answer my question. My second question is this: there has been a very large scale of women being brutally murdered. And I wouldn't say murder because I'm not forensic. I don't know. They could have had a stroke, but we're having cases where bodies are surfacing, like in Marshall on the highway, Painesville, Tupper Road, Old Road, and a lot of them are under the ages of 30. Has there ever been an instant where you said, okay, let me take on the initiative without anyone paying me or hiring me to try to see if there might be some dots needed to be connected that could probably put a serial killer away or help the police to investigate a crime that they don't even know is a crime yet. But because of your initiative of taking on maybe an autopsy of three of the corpse to know if it's related murders.
Well, so no, I have not. And the reason is because when a person dies, okay, it is the responsibility of the state to conduct an investigation into the death of that individual or individuals. Okay, so you can't just go and claim a body to examine it just because you know how to. Now, if the body is turned over to the family and the family is in need of, say, my assistance, then that's something different. Or if I was a consultant for the government of Liberia through its Ministry of Justice, and such a case or cases came about, then of course I would be, in the primary seat, right, to address those cases. But like I said earlier, governments, and I've seen this in post-war Liberia, they have the right to work with who they want to work with, whether that person or persons is or are qualified or not. you know so and it's just my way of saying that you can't force governments to basically to buy your idea, even though it may make sense and they may know that it makes sense, but again, still they are not forced to accept your ideas. And as a result, we've seen different cases occur over the years. So it's a sad thing because, in my opinion, women are not respected as they are in other parts of the world, or as they should be in Liberia. And so, women are subjected to violence in Liberia. Whether they're assaulted or murdered. I mean, this is something that happens every single day. So yeah, so that's
Okay,
that.
so I'm not saying that you just come in and say, hey, I want to let me take this course and hey, let me just do my own thing. No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm saying is, for example, you have the platform, two platforms. You have the platform to investigate, you can be a PI, and then you also have the platform to also, uh, you know, like dissect and know exactly what caused the death of that person. If you have proof that maybe there was some violence that occurred, you are employing people. If I am someone who has a private eye and I want to be a part of your company, could I get a job working with you?
Well,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I mean, that's probably off the grid. I'm sorry about that, but maybe someone
no,
is
no, no,
listening, might be thinking like that.
right. No, no, no. The question is, I mean, I'm going to address it from a general standpoint. So yeah, so it is possible, like I said, having qualified people, to work with. It is a small company as well, where I'm just getting things off the ground. So it's going to be one of those things where you got to know who you're bringing on board and the exact role that they're going to play. And and once they meet my satisfaction, sure, I mean, I can, we can always work something out. I mean, that shouldn't be an issue. But I understood your question, and I guess the answer you didn't grasp it because it is not a field that you're familiar with, like a lot of people aren't. So when a person dies, right? In as much, and I see this, in all true actuality, when a person dies, the state has to conduct the initial investigation. There's nothing that you can do about it. So after their investigation, can I still examine the person's body? Yes. In fact, so I do a lot of second opinion post-mortem exams as well. So that is something that can be done. But Or if the state decides that the person's death was natural and there's no need for any further investigation, and the family feels that indeed there should be a form of investigation, as in a private post-mortem exam, then yes, I come in, that's where I come into play again. So, it's a delicate situation because of the legalities that are involved, but it's just one of those things that we have to live with because that's how it's been, I mean, from time immemorial. Miss Claudia, are you there, Miss Smith? I cannot hear you, Mr. Smith.
1 second. Let me go to Honorable Christopher Nippy to ask 2 questions.
Well,
Mr. Nippy?
thank you
Okay.
very much, Doc, for your second appearance on the show. People have interests that take them to certain places and certain professionally, such as where you are. And you mentioned that you were not satisfied with the manner in which your mother died. And I was wondering what might have happened to her to have caused him to say, well, look, I don't know whether she died naturally or there was a foul play. So I'm going to get into for forensic medicine as an investigator to actually determine what killed my mother or how did she die. You care to comment on that, sir?
Well, so I was in the U.S. At the time when she passed away in 2006. But the problem is that one one facility had her as being diabetic, another facility had her as not being diabetic. And so
Mm,
when she was taken to the Catholic hospital, basically nothing made sense. Her cause of death was congestive heart failure, and congestive heart failure in Liberia is one of the biggest excuses that is used in the medical community to serve as a cause of death on a person's death certificate.
mm,
Okay. Then congestive heart failure does not just occur. Okay, it is something that has there are signs and symptoms when a that a person must have to to correlate congestive heart failure. But again, these
mm,
are some of the the frustrating um, situations that we have to deal with in Liberia, especially within the healthcare setting.
mm,
So uh, I took upon myself, just I mean, I was in a different space at the time,
mm,
looking at life a whole lot differently and from a different perspective, so to speak. So I was in my own world,
mm.
trying to cope with, her demise, and I just saw myself being swept into forensics, and that's basically how everything started.
Well, after your graduation, did you come back to investigate? Was the body exhumed such that would have given you the answers that you did not have?
Well, no, the body was not exhumed. Well, actually, no. Uh, I did have a body exhumed, but I had it exhumed because um, prior to leaving for school, she had told me basically that if she was to pass, how she wanted to have been buried. But then
Okay.
when she passed away, I got caught up into the whirlwind of family nonsense and drama,
Mm,
and so things did not go accordingly. But then a few years later, I returned to Liberia and I had her exhumed and buried as she had, instructed me to. So that was it. But again, at that point in time, a post-mortem exam would not have been warranted,
I see.
especially especially when she died. I did want to have her autopsied because the circumstances just were not. I mean, they were not adding up. But then one thing I've learned from death is when a relative dies, that's when you get to know the true color of families. That's why I don't cherish family values,
Mm,
because they can be very deceptive. And
mm,
so up to date, I have no idea as to the actual cause of my mother's death, because congestive heart failure doesn't make sense. If a person is diabetic, then you should be able to I mean, to see it at every facility that they went to. It shouldn't be a discrepancy. And once there's a discrepancy, then it means that something is not adding up.
mm.
But so it's been quite difficult over the years. But I try to cope by helping other families.
I see.
So and helping other families to acquire what I have not been able to. So that's it basically.
Oh, thank you for that answer. Our country has been inundated by um, a vicious cycle of missing persons, people found with missing parts, person dying under mysterious circumstances. Can you put into perspective the number of mysterious deaths that you have come to examine or know about?
Well, yeah, I saw mysterious deaths in Liberia, and what I know about. So yeah, we had a case with the three missing boys. We had the auditors. Okay, we had all these different stories that were coming about that was not making sense at all. And like, for example, with the auditors, is just because of time that I cannot go into it in depth. But you heard the former president of Liberia say that that was quote unquote, that was boyfriend and girlfriend business. People get murdered, get murdered and transported to in a vehicle to Broad Street. Then you have the president, he mounts the podium at his and then he says such, you see. And then everybody is thinking one way when the facts are glaring. But you
Mm,
have, but you don't have the trained eyes to basically decipher the facts. So, and there are several other cases. Mysterious deaths happens all the time in this
mhm.
country. So it's going to be hard, like, for me to name them, because I follow a lot of them. Yeah. So, but with regards to mysterious death cases, there will be cases that I will pull up, and then we discuss every now and then.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
My our next to that question will be: government should be interested in all of these cases that are happening in the society, especially the Ministry of Justice, the Liberian National Police, and the Ministry of Justice. Has there been any time where the Ministry of Justice has contacted you to do any investigation on something it wanted to know? Because the protection arm of any government is police organization via the Ministry of Justice. Has there been any time the Ministry of Justice had called you to say, look, we have these two cases. Can you give us any find an opinion as to professional opinion as to what happened, how these persons passed?
No, that has not happened.
The reason why I ask that question is that we are all citizens and we live in Liberia. When some mysterious circumstances takes a lady, a female who are very prone to be victimized, I thought the government would call on you. So now that it doesn't happen the way I thought it would happen, because I thought organizing the third eye was to help government, or government will provide you some leverage or the opportunity to assist it in investigating these deaths. So how will you try for the third eye in the absence of government who should be calling on you to be its witness in these kind of instances?
Well, okay, I would like to answer, but what I would ask you to do, just so that no distraction, if you can mute and then you will still hear me talk because like the noise that keeps coming in. Okay. So Third Eye is here to serve the Liberian people. Okay. The government of Liberia has its rights, to work with individuals that they feel they are more comfortable to work with. Um, I cannot I cannot force the government or chase the government down, to work with me. That is not in my nature, so because I know what I was up against when I decided to bring to extend my services to Liberia. So the extension of my services to Liberia is to be able to help the Liberian fellow Liberian citizens. The government of Liberia, as a matter of fact, I believe has its own preferred um, investigators that it works with. But the ordinary person in Liberia does not have that second option, a second opinion seeker. So because of that, I decided to have my business set up here to basically help the people that are in need. So that's the primary reason of coming in. So, but of course, if the government decides that it needs, consult needs my skill set and needs me to serve as a consultant, then yes, we can sit down and discuss. I'm also open to that because at the end of the day, it's all about helping Liberia move forward. So that's that.
I see. But
Okay.
will you be doing the
Okay.
work on the pro bono basis, or how will the poor people contact you?
Well, it depends. It's not going to be just pro bono, anything can happen. I may charge you a very icy cold bottle of water to a few $100s. Who knows?
Okay,
But bottom line is no, I don't just work for free because I didn't go to school for free. This
absolutely.
service, yes, I'm providing a service to help, but at the same time, not to hurt myself. There must be something to symbolize a form of compensation. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying it could be that okay, I could tell you that I make sure you have me one icy cool bottle of water. So you got to find somebody with freezer and get
Mhm.
what you're asking for. Yeah, that's it. Um, but at the same time, I'm not doing this to become a millionaire. This is something that I also have a passion for, and I feel that it will be a blessing to help my fellow Liberians.
And
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, one of the things you said, which is interesting, and most people, our listener, will understand, and that is
you government have the first responsibility to take care of the dead, do the
Correct.
autopsy on the dead. You can only
Yes.
come in when the family invite you or the government invite you. You can't just go and just say I want to do it because you have the skill, you have the knowledge. Is that not how you function? Am I right?
You are absolutely correct. And the reason is because it's a legal issue. A person gets murdered, the state has to investigate that murder, right? Because somebody has to be held liable. Then you can't just come and just interject. Because the minute you do that now, then you're not tampering with evidence. And that's a whole different situation. Okay. So yes, you're absolutely correct.
So you have given government the opportunity to help them, but you cannot force them if they don't want to the help that you can provide. They have to be willing to come to you for that help. Am I right also?
Yes, you're correct.
And the same thing goes with the family. If the family need that help and the fee that they're not satisfied with a particular death in the respective county, like in Zedru, like in other parts of the country, they can contact you.
Yes.
And there are two ways can be done. Either either we have to come together, which I suggested the last time you were on the show, that we can put our resources together and come to you. And depending how we put our resources together, then you can look at it. And then maybe at that point, you can put your humanitarian hat on what we can bring, whether you accept it or not. That's one way.
Yes.
And the
So
other
I,
way, a family to hire you and say, we want you to operate. We're not pleased with what the government is telling us. Those are the two ways you can get involved.
yes, because what's going to happen is the body is going to be turned over to the family. So let's say the body, let's say for example, you have a case where you know the government investigated and said that there's no need for an autopsy, there's no sign of foul play, but the family is not comfortable and indeed wants an autopsy done. So that's one way I could be contacted. Another way is also the government of Liberia did an autopsy and gave the family a result, excuse me, a result that they are not comfortable with. Okay. I can also be contacted where I will be conducting a second post-mortem exam. Now, if it happens that my results are, basically that they consist of facts from the first autopsy, okay, then that's it. If there's something else, then that will also be identified, you know. So, but every case is different with regards to the type of financial support that is behind the case. So, and then of course it makes a difference if I'm in the States and let's say I'm in the States and I'm being contacted to come to Liberia versus if I'm already in Liberia and then you basically, catch me whilst you can. That also, plays a role.
So you come in to provide your services uh, to Liberia, and that is grateful on your part. You could have gone other country, remain in America, but you decided to come home. So
Yep.
if I should ask you, what are the two things you would like to accomplish? What would those two things be?
Oh wow. One, I would like to see a robust justice system, especially when it comes to investigating crimes. And also, I would like to see that forensic death investigation has a footprint, and if hopefully I can also be remembered as a godfather of forensics in Liberia. So these are things that I'm looking forward to, and it's just a matter of time. But anyone, I mean, should agree with what I just said. We cannot be the first independent African state, and then something as mayor, right? As death investigation, we I mean we lack, or
And people
standardized
listening,
death investigation.
mhm. People listening to you right now will like your services, and they want to know how you go through your investigative method. I know you can't share all the method with them, but in terms of lab work, the accuracies of your method, how reliable they can look at it and feel that, oh, I think I can trust this person. I can get to him to help my family. What will you tell them today?
Well, so I do standardized work. Okay, I've been in this business for a long time now. Also, I I believe in revealing the truth, and it is. I mean, my profession and my desire to work in the field of death investigations is supported based on professionalism. So I work with standardized labs or laboratories, and also other medical professionals. This is no, like I said earlier, you don't just wake up one morning and say that you want to start doing death investigation, because it will come back to bite you. You see, you have to be able to put certain modalities in place in order for the system, to run. So you don't have to worry about getting a quasi autopsy report. You know, everything I do is standardized. And of course, when say for example, if a family needs my service, that family, I bring them on board as a team. I don't just abandon the family. Of course, now I'm not saying I cannot interact with everybody in the family. So don't go bring the auntie, cousin, sister, mother, father, and all of that, right? But with the key representatives, I can interact with them so that they are part of the process. Because one thing I noticed is that the family always know more than you do. They will be able to give you that information and say, okay, well, this is what we know, this is what happened, and so on and so forth. you know so that's basically how that is going to be approached.
And your company come here, will it help put Liberia on the map when it comes to forensic investigation and other crimes? Something do we have one yet?
No, we do not. So I'm into forensic medical legal death investigation. So it is very unique. Is it going to put Liberia on the map? I don't know, because my goal is not I'm not looking for any for stardom. Okay, but based on my competitive nature, and things happen in life, so it's not impossible that it could add in some way, shape, or form. um but it's just one of those things. Unique few. It can export, like, a lot of people know me now. My name has become a household name when it comes to forensics, because from years back, being on radios talking about different cases. So people have gotten to know the name Rockefeller Cooper. See. And but I look forward to being able to serve the Liberian people, so to speak.
Now, before we continue, let's go to the callers for few questions because the last time there were not too many callers. So let's get them for few questions, then we'll come back to ask you the last few questions and we call it a day. So Mr. Wulu, can you open the line for few questions? Mr. Wulu? Alex?
Hello, Vedra.
Yeah, could you open the line for few calls?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so folks, that's it. At this point, we'll let you go to the phone lines and hear from you. Let me turn on my camera by this time now. Yeah. So we'd like to hear from you. The number supported through at 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. 0881 14 3504 are the number supported through and going to be live here this wonderful evening on the program. I bet today for let's hear from you. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504 and going to be part of the show. I beg today for while we are waiting, I will play our theme song.
I beg to differ, Liberia. My people like a typo. Top FM 105.3, we on the air. Leader, shout, Sheku Koroma.
0776 105 105 881 14 3504. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. And let's hear from you. The lines open. It's about time that we take calls from you, and let's hear from you quickly here this evening. 776 105 105 881 14 3504. We pick up one or two calls, and then we go to the panelists. Let's pick with the Katu here this evening. Welcome to the show, the Real Captain.
Now you got it right. You got a veteran, you got a retired captain.
What you did to the captain, Alex? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Firstly, congratulations to the professor who explained to us about this brilliant idea. Now my question is, do we have an institution in country Liberia wherein maybe gradually as in approaching is 99 years old, pretty soon will turn to 100 plus, where you'll be retiring, that we can run to say, hey, there was somebody who is no more there and you are there. Is there anybody or institution that is building up such a brilliant man like this that we got in Liberia? The second question is, Professor Smith asked a question. So we want to know whether incident of such take place before. That is, when such a thing like that happens, the government either have to invite you or the family member invite you before you go there. You don't just go there because you feel you know it or you got all documents in your possession that can identify you of being a forensic or professional person. So I want to know whether it happened before. If yes, we gave one or two instances, especially to him or Mr. Smith, so that some of us can know and learn from it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being part of the show with the Katu. Of course, you can do the same by calling on 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. You're going to be live here tonight on the program that bet today for let's hear from you. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. The number supported you, and let's hear from you here this evening. So we'll wait you. We'll take our things on the keep it rolling here. Like I said, 776105.
How this life for me counting me the life. Give up people, you're ready. Come back, steady, steady. From bush to town, from market to yard. If the matter strong, we ain't keep that. If the matter strong, we go talk. If they hide the drop, we go bring up. If you make small, put yourself a stick. I go feed God. We go talk, God. We go talk. If they
0776105105 Let's hear you. 776105105 are the numbers of which we're going to be live here this 104 evening on the program. I bet today for 776105105 Veteran, let's go ahead and call come here. I'll let you know.
Okay. So, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, you can respond to the question.
from 9 o'clock till
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no. I don't know of any institutions within the country, that's basically putting out forensic death investigators. Now you have to understand that my case is a little different. Though you can have just ordinary investigators, but I happen to be a medical doctor, and then a forensic medical legal death investigator, right? So I'm tying in principles of forensic medicine and forensic pathology. Okay, principles of forensic medicine and forensic pathology, in addition to we're in conjunction with forensic science. So when you put the three together, basically it makes me, a different species amongst investigators. Now, on the other hand, uh, we're still going through the post-war phase, even though that we don't have the gun sounds anymore, but Liberia is still way behind. So some things that you would expect to be in country are just not. They don't even exist. Hopefully, with time, things might be able to turn out for the best. But for now, no, we don't have any institution as such. And I think that was the main crux of his question.
He asked the second one, some similar question that I asked you, that the government have to invite you and
Oh,
family have to
yes,
invite, but he added a twist on it. Maybe you can.
yes. So basically, yes, if the government invites you to consult on a case, then you are there for the case. If you're not, then or if you were not invited, then you were just not invited. However, even after the government has done the first autopsy and the family is not satisfied and they want to have a second autopsy done, meaning the body has now been turned over to the family, oh yeah, sure, you can you can do the autopsy. Now all you have to do, especially in Liberia, is to notify the justice system that, hey, we'll be conducting a second post-mortem exam on this person, forensic post-mortem exam on this person, so as to ascertain cause and manner of death. And so we'll be doing it. We'll be using Dr. Cooper, and that's it.
So, is there, maybe for lack of a better way to put it, have there been an instant where you see a situation, maybe the way this person passed away, like how, what's her name said, Pressure Cooper, and how she passed away, and can you, for humanitarian reason, whether the family call you or government call you, but you stand for a distance and you look at it and say, you know what, something is strange about this. Is it a ground you can go and say, maybe let me talk to the family and see where I can help that family, or the family have to invite you before you can do that?
Well, yes. Now, have I engaged families in the past? Yes. And that's just to say, well, you need to look, to look further. Not so much because I'm engaging you to use me, but just so that there will be clarity, because you have some of those cases where, I mean, it just not adding up, but the family, I mean, these are just lay people, right? They don't understand, but what can they do? They have to just accept whatever is being said. And that's one of the key things I'm trying to also instill, is that for people to know that you don't have to just accept an autopsy finding, that there's an option. Because you see, once there's an option and the people know there's an option, then y'all can start to address things, accordingly.
Okay, let me get to before I get to Mr. Nippy to ask two questions. Is there a time limit how long a government can keep the body of someone loved one, or it's up to the family to go to government and say we need it? So what is the time frame? And then and if you give that time frame, when can you come in, or they can invite you to come and help them?
Yeah, so the thing is, there's no set time frame as to how long the government can keep the body. Of course, keeping the body for 3 4 months doesn't make sense. Okay, so um the issue here is, once the government has conducted an autopsy on a body, they should be ready to release that body. Okay, precisely, to the family. Because after the autopsy, okay, that aspect of the investigation is done. So it's for you now to move on with, what else you have to move on with, to contribute towards resolving the case. But another option is, okay, both, I could be present when the government is doing the first autopsy. So remember, one of the things I do is, to secure witness testimony. And then that will now be to share my findings and opinion with the, what do you call it? Like, defense counsel, right? So that they will know exactly how to move forward. But yeah, so all in all, it can be a difficult situation, but I mean, it's just the nature of the game, so to speak.
Okay, Mr. Honorable Nippy, any follow-up question?
Just one follow-up question. We have a pending case that has a link to South Africa. I was wondering whether the government has approached you to referee sort of whatever some other pathologist or coroner or what have you have done, whether the government has called you in to render service in the pending case of Mrs. Jackson. Has there been any such approach?
So, no, I have not been contacted by the government. However, I am consulting with the defense counsel on that case. So, so that's where it stands as now.
In other words, you were brought in by Mr. Jackson, right?
Not quite. It happened that I was heading to Liberia when I was engaged about on the subject matter, and I agreed to work along with them after reviewing the merits and conducting my own investigation. To a certain point, I felt that yes, I could work along with him.
With the defense. Not the prosecution.
Not the prosecution, with the defense counsel.
I see. I see.
Yes, sir.
So since you will be working with the defense counsel, is there a time frame where this matter will be concluded? Because I don't know whether the body has been sent to South Africa or it will be buried here.
That now where the body is being buried, that's going to be a family decision. But once the case, it goes through all the loops and hoops that it's supposed to go through, I'm pretty sure that there will be findings presented.
That'll be funny. Do you have anybody coming from South Africa to represent that government?
I'm not sure. I know the South African embassy, was made aware, and then also I believe that maybe there, I think a family member or members that that is or are here as well. According to
Uh,
yes.
so has the process begun?
Oh yeah, I mean they've been, it's been all over the news. Mr. Jackson was arrested, taken to
No, I mean
Sharpeville.
the forensic process, the forensic investigation has it been commenced?
I believe that will be commencing very soon.
You have an time frame as to when it will be concluded?
No, I cannot state if there's any or when it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I should say thank you so much for your invaluable time spent with us this evening to put certain things, especially within the context of your own professional competency. You have done us justice this evening, and I want to say thank you so much for being with
Most welcome.
us.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to touch before you give your comment and other thing. I wanted to touch on when they call you as a witness, when you have examined the body and put your footprint on what or your success rate in court, and how you have viewed it over time, just for our public to know, and
Well,
how you have been very effective in the work you do.
okay, so now unfortunately, every time I believe you are trying to say something important, that's when your line was
Okay.
breaking in.
Okay,
So
sorry.
yeah.
Let me go over. I was saying that if we look over time past work you have done, whether after you examine the body, go through everything, and then you have to also go to court, whether here or in America or in Liberia, take her through your success in that case. Successful in terms of helping the client, or you just do what you have to do, but it's left with the court system.
No, well, I have been successful. Cases that I've testified in the U.S. I have been successful in that we were able to get things to go our way. In Liberia, yes, I've testified in court, and the judge was able to see the difference, and as a result, justice prevailed. So one thing about me is I don't just take on cases just for the sake of taking on cases. If I don't see any victory, every case that I've taken on has been successful. Even if we had to go to the appellate court, or if we have to go to the Supreme Court, because you see, when you know your material and you know how to put the pieces of the puzzle together, I mean, it needless to say that the picture is going to show every time. You see? So when I take on a case, I look at the merit, look at, what the claims are, what are the primary concerns, and then we go on from there. Yeah. So that's it about my success in court and whatnot.
That's good to know that when you take on a case, you should have an idea how you're going to prevail for your client. That's good to know. But was there any disappointment where you went into it, you felt comfortable that you were going to win, but something went wrong? Is there one you can name that we can know about?
Well, so I haven't had one where um I have not had one where, say for example, where basically there was a loss. So, when the forensic investigation is one thing, lawyers have their own way. Sometimes they will glorify and bring to the highest highlight of, circumstantial evidence. Okay. So it depends on how the judge is looking into it. But for me, as far as, because sometimes when I'm working with clients, for example, we need to examine evidential material. If you can't convince the judge why, you're not getting anything. You see, because those materials were from a crime scene. You see, and any clue on those materials could basically share some sort of light. So so when you're dealing with legal issues, you have to you have to know how to handle your cards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So looking
So
at, before I will conclude with that, you gave your closing comment. Uh, Drowning, somebody drowning, and someone maybe have a health issue, and you have to investigate both. Somebody, they say that they went in the water, they got drowned, and then somebody say health issue. What would be your approach to these two? Are these difficult cases or they are easy cases?
drowning cases can be easy and they can be difficult. It depends on several factors. Okay. Um, does somebody have a heart attack? Does somebody have a seizure? Okay. Um, was it that they didn't know how to swim? There's so many factors that you have to take into consideration, which if I start to list tonight will be here until tomorrow morning. But
Mhm.
there's a lot that you have to consider, definitely. And I've had cases before. Sometimes, the case is just there's not enough to give a generalized um manner of death. For example, yes, the person died from a gunshot wound by all indications, but was it done by them or was it done by someone else? Now, there are other factors that we have to rule out to basically say that, okay, no, this person died because of this or died because of that, you know. So, so that's that for your question.
So, look, you can give your closing comment or anything you felt that I did not ask you could be helpful to the public. You can use this opportunity and put it in your closing comment.
Okay, well, you kind of broke up. Can you just repeat that for me,
Okay.
please?
I said this is time you in charge to give your closing comment. Anything you felt I did not ask you or need clarification, this is an opportunity you can take in your closing comment.
Oh, okay, wow, another closing comment. Well, so fellow Liberians, I think you've heard it all tonight. I'm a fellow Liberian who has taken upon himself to be of service to us all. So you can rest assured that my services are going to be top notch, um, free and fair, and and to know that you have an option. So without being, any other further ado, because I'm really not a big talker. Um, s- uh, I'm here. I'm here to help. If my services are needed whilst I'm not in country, is to contact me and see how we can move forward. But most important of all is that we now have an option. Your body doesn't have to just stay at at the morgue, and then you rush to go and bury it because you've been told to bury it since the body is decomposing. When that body could have been examined maybe 2 weeks ago. So basically, that's it. The Earth Forensic Consultancy. Basically, we're going to be operating out of the AB Anderson Funeral Services on Lynch Street, directly opposite the office of the Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia. So that's it.
And people wanted to contact you. Can you give information in terms of email addresses or phone number where they can contact you directly?
Yes, so I can be so I so, okay, so my website is www.3 R as in Romeo, D as in dog, and then I, like your eyes, right? But and then forensics, forensics.com. So on there has my email, but you can also email me at Cooper at thirdeyeforensics.com. So I can answer your questions, point you in the right directions, and then, of course, to see how best I can be of help to you.
So thank you very much for being our guest today, tonight, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. So what time of this week we can have you to go to a few cold cases?
Uh, let's talk. Let's talk tomorrow off
Okay,
air.
okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
Okay. But
Thank you very much.
now let me say here, more than likely that may start, say, maybe week after next week, week after next.
Okay,
So yeah.
okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
thank you very much.
And thank you too for
Thank you.
enlightening our public. And we will. I know we're here. People will be calling us, so you can contact us too if you did not get the information tonight and you want to reach out to him. You can contact me or contact the station, and we will get you. If you're in Zedru, I know there's a cold case in Zedru of a young man. So, and you're
Wait,
so passionate about, you can contact
wait,
me.
wait.
And
Let me let me ask you this, Mr. Smith. What is it? Because you've been talking about this case. What is the situation? Where is the body right now? Has the body been found?
you know what? I think they haven't found him. I don't think they have found him yet. And the longest
I come down
case
that way
in
too
the
far. I come down that way too far. I came too close.
I know. Can you come up just a little bit so I could get in?
oh,
Oh, you got
meet
another truck
yourself, Mr.
too.
Nippy.
I'm
This
saying
thing guy had a truck.
Mr.
He didn't
Nippy,
make it.
you park right here, or you
Mr.
got the key?
Nippy,
No, I'm parking
Mr.
here.
Nippy,
Oh yeah, just a little bit more so I can get in.
okay. Mr. Nippy, meet yourself. Okay. I will get more information for you the next time you come here or before you come here,
No, I
so
think
we
I'm
can
okay.
talk about that. And maybe our executive producer can help us. Mr. Wulu, are you with us? Mr. Wulu? Alex?
I've been
Alex?
parked the whole time running my gas.
Alex? Alex?
I don't know why he not answering. But anyway, we will, I will get all about it, and they talk about this young man. Either government and one of the few cold cases in Grand Jita that they haven't resolved yet. A young man. So a lot of time when we have program, they said they want closure, but then when the term of court come, no result for this young man, whether he had been found or what happened to him, information. But I can promise you, I will get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Okay. I will listen. I so yes. So good night, everyone, and we'll talk later.
Good
Okay,
night,
thank you
Dr.
very much.
Rockefeller. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. So, Mr. Nipe, as usual, you do your closing remark. I mean, do my closing, then you end with your closing and the way you greet your people and close with your people, and you do all at once. So, or you want for her to talk on other subject before you close, or you
No,
just want
it's
her to
late.
close?
It's too
Okay,
late. My sister
okay,
has to call me.
okay, okay. So, thank you all for being our guests today. We have two half of our show, and hope you enjoy both. And hope you enjoy both Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. So if you know of anybody facing uh, death or unresolved death, you can feel free to contact me, and then I will put you in touch with him if you want some kind of resolution for your family or your loved one or your friends. We have it here. So the bottom line is just for us to work together as a team and see what we can put in front of him. You can't let your loved one remains what were the cause of their death not answerable. Now you have someone, a Liberian, who can do it. So don't feel shy, of wanting to do that. And then on the first half, we have domestic situation, and Dr. Ruth Towaj explained it herself. So I hope you listen to her. So that's a domestic something, and so I hope you'll be the judge and see, to look at that too. And at this time, hope on Monday we'll be coming with another edition. I beg to differ. Hope I can be have been the veteran, have served you well with questions that I asked and information we have provided. So stay tuned to Monday when the full team will be here. Uh, uh, 5 p.m. our time in the Eastern region and 9 p.m. in Liberia time on Monday. Or you can join our Monday crew panelists, stay podium for our morning show. So let me give it to Honorable Christopher Nipe to give his comment, and then we'll call it for a night.
But our family and the radio community and who were part of our audience, we want to say thank you so much for being with us for almost 4 hours. The time is invaluable, and so when you spend that time with us, we must say thank you so much. We had two subjects to discuss. One was a domestic issue, and my advice was you are in court, and will be doing the wrong thing to you and your spouse for inviting you on the radio to discuss a family matter such as divorce, especially when it is in the domain of the court. I was not interested in deliberating far on it. And so I had to turn off. But tonight we've had the pleasure of having Dr. Rockefeller Cooper Jr., a forensic medical investigator with many years of experience under his belt. You heard him answer questions why he entered the field. His mother had passed and the circumstances were uncleared. He named specifically the Catholic hospital, which said that a mother died from heart problem, so to speak. And he was not satisfied, and so he decided to do medicine after graduation to go into the investigative side. We had to do with forensic. He answered all the questions we had. And my people, every day you get problem. Today, one woman come here, one bring her family problem to the public. We are here like bringing clean or dirty clothes on Broad Street or in dry zone in the center of the town to come watch, or in Swedru to come watch. So I told her that family business, that you and your husband business, it's not good for the people to hear what you did. Because when you explain yourself, we can't say we close our ear one ear. We want to open the other ear to hear Mr. Towaka and talk to. Then we put in the dirty clothes outside. Because Mr. Towa will say the woman do so. The woman do that. That's why I say I don't want her. For me, I don't think the kind of thing that's supposed to come on radio. You and your wife do something, you keep it, you go to the court. You don't want her, go to the court. You and your husband, you do something you don't want him, don't bring it to the public to hear. Because when they start asking you questions, sometimes it will not be good. So I talked to her, she was vexed. But I got her to tell her the truth, the family business, and then in the court. Then after that, we get the man here. Every time we say the person here, the people take up part. The born on that good, the woman on that good. And somebody kill the person. Today we get one man, he need that a Cooper, that a Rockefeller Cooper, he learn plenty of book. He do the medicine, he's a doctor, medical doctor. The hospital business, give you injection, give you tablet, find out what happened to you. Then because a man died, and the way a man died, he will not certify. Go to school again. Then you learn the one what they call forensic, that they need the person would have found out when people die some kind of funny way. You want to know why the person died. They will do operation to find out. Then they will tell you, say, somebody put food in the person's stomach. Bad food. And the other one kill the person. The man blow away on the head. And the blood go in your brain. That's what happened. So that's the kind of job that Cooper can do. So they get an office, they open, you can do a work at AB Anderson Funeral Home. So if something happen, we take that body, carry to AB Anderson place. Then they will find out, say, oh no, they want to hear that bad thing happen to the woman, that bad thing happen to the man here. So that's what it is. So thank you. You listen to us today. Please listen to us tomorrow on Monday. Bye, bye, bye. Veteran, good night.
Thank you, and hope your family well and go home and go to church tomorrow and pray for us until we meet on Monday.
I'm always at mass. I'm a Catholic, a sacramental Catholic. I'm always at
And,
mass.
and before we close, saying you're Catholic, could you tell us briefly what it means for Pope Leo visit to 4 African countries this week? Now he in Angola, he will end with Equatorial Guinea, he will go in Algeria, and he went Cameroon. What this mean for you all who are Catholic or those who are not Catholic? Because what he talking about is beyond whether you're Catholic or not. Peace and hitting key points for
So
all of us.
when you explain like that, now then you have answered the question. You asked me the question, then just leave it at that.
No, I will just leave it.
The Pope is only saying one phrase: holistic humanity. Holistic humanity. Total human being interest. Because we are one race. There are 10 races. God didn't create 10 races. God created the human race. The Pope is simply telling people all the money you're looking for, you will lose it. But thrive on love. I want my generation to be rich. The Pope is saying, you will lose all that stuff. In simple terms, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world? Leaves it with his children will leave it with the other people. But at the end, they all lose their soul. Pope is admonishing governments, people who are in temporary seats, and they want to hold on it, and they come out with bad, wrong, improper policies. And mankind is dying all over the world. In Cameroon, there's a friction between the French-speaking side and the English-speaking side. And people are going to their untimely demise. In Angola, Agostinho Neto started cleansing the society revolution. And we know what happened there, and we know what is happening there now. In all the other places, in Algeria, when Ouro Bombardier, the father of Algeria, went to independence, brought that country to independence. There is a minute group, I think it is about 2% of the Catholic population, if it's not 9, but it's not 5 or 10. Of the Catholic population in that country, in Algeria. It is predominantly mostly. What he's talking about is here you can be in the majority, but don't forget about the needs of the minority. For we are all God's children. If you wanted a shirt and your friend needed a same shirt, and you got the shirt, don't turn your back on your friend. Because you got a shirt already that it was you, and he didn't even go for that shirt. You did not understand that you were helping you to buy the shirt. You did not understand the mechanics that he was using for you to own the shirt that you now have. It is not right because you have the shirt now. It looks very beautiful on you. Then you turn your long time relationship with that friend. Then he said he wanted the shirt. I get a shirt now. But you wanted, both of y'all wanted the same girlfriend. You are fortunate to have a girlfriend. It does not mean that you should turn your back on a friend. You wanted the same job, or you thought he wanted a job, not knowing he was trying to help you. In basketball, they say dual attack. Football, the same thing. So that a person cannot make that basket. So that you, the friend, you can make the basket. But when you get the job now, you turn your back on your friend. All because people have put needle in your ear. Don't let him come near you because you wanted the same job. But you forgot. Before those people came around you, that friend was with you. That friend was with you. That friend knew you. You think the friend is a traitor? So you turn your back. But it's going to pass. Because the friend remains your friend. The job is going to go. But be humane. That's what the Pope is saying. Stop war. War comes in various forms. You don't have to shoot gun at a person to be at war with that person. The Pope is asking us to stop those kind of things. And with that, the killing that going on in Gaza, in Iran, in Syria, in Lebanon rather, in Ukraine, the Pope is asking mankind to rationalize their behavior. Because no matter what kind of money you got, where you have sat, you're going 6 feet. You will take 6 feet. And the man could be as poor as a pauper. He goes the same 6 feet. Death is death. So the Pope is warning all leaders, irrespective of where you sit, to remember one thing: to be kind, to love, and not to harm any other person because of where you sit. That being said, my people, when you paramount chief, you and the man want to see job, sometimes the man want to help you. So you can obey paramount chief. But you don't understand. Your friend didn't tell you. Oh man, Webo won't be paramount chief too. Don't let him come in your chief, don't come in, let him come to you. But you and Webo, you're being friend. You and Grebo, you're being friend. You and Gadia, you're being friend. You and Koluba, you're being friend. You and Mohammed, you're being good friend. For more than 2-3 years. Don't turn your back on that friend, yeah? Because you get a woman already. You get a kinu already. You get a job already. You get a farm already. Think, low back. Low back. And I think the Pope is sending a proverb, and which I have captured in the Crew parlance. It says, if it were not for this reason, I will do such and so thing. So when you and your friend, you're being playing football together, you're being laughing together, you're being good friends. You're not eat together and all. When you in that office, don't forget your friend. You in that, you get that woman you wanted, don't forget your friend. That's what love is all about. God can pull two persons up at the same time. So when you go up, you will come down. But remember the people that are down who were friendly with you before you climb up. So my people that are here there, oh, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Great service to your people. Any update on Coco Ria? I may go. Alex. Alex, are you with us? Alex? Okay. So we're going right. So
Alex?
we're going
Yeah,
right.
Mr. Smith.
Alex? Okay, why you forgot about us? Okay, why you forgot about us? So give your closing remark. So give your closing remark. Record it a day.
Nothing much.
Record it a day.
Thanks to all of you. We catch up Monday next week. Well, so first for those of you watching us, this is what time that will go off to be back on Monday on the program that bet today for let's say many things. So all of you, we appreciate you for your comments, sharing. We do appreciate it for doing so. I will hope to be back Monday super and healthy on the program bet today for. Thanks to all of you. Mr. Smith. Good night.
Good night. Good night. What you gonna eat or something?